Ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment we're going to begin the funeral services for Mildred Maurer. Rabbi Aaron Wolf from the Chicago Mitzvah Campaign will be officiating. We welcome those of you who are joining us via live stream. Bless you, Rabbi. We want to take a moment to be sure that everyone's wrapped in a blanket. It's a little cold out here. And at this time, Rabbi Wolf will begin this funeral ceremony.
We'll begin with the 23rd Psalm. You have it in your folders. We can say it together. First I'll read it in Hebrew and then we can say the translation together. If you know the Hebrew, say it with me. Say along as well. Mizmor leDavid Adonai roi lo yechsor. V'nos deshe yabitzeni amei menuchos yenahaleni. Nafshi yishovev yancheni v'magde tzedek l'man shmo. Gam ki elech begeit samoves o iraro ki ato imodi. Shiftecho mishantecho heimo yenachamuni. Ta'aroch lefonai shulchan neged tzoreroi. Yishanto v'ashemen roshi kaisi rabaya. Ach tov v'chesed yidefuni koyimei chayai. V'shavti b'veis Adonai la'orach yamim. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Preparest the table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The little that I heard, we are gathered here today to pay tribute and bid farewell. Very, very special woman, Mildred Maurer. The little that I heard, I said to myself, I have to say another psalm. Psalm 15th Psalm, I think it's appropriate for today. It's not in your folder, but... And it begins like this. Lord, who may sojourn in your tents? Who may dwell on your holy mountain? Mildred is now going to some far distance. She's going to be with the Lord, with God. So King David says, who may dwell on your holy mountain? And he answers, one who walks in purity, does what is righteous, and speaks the truth from the heart. That sound like Mildred? Who has no slander on the tongue, nor has done harm to a fellow, nor cast disgrace towards a neighbor. In whose eyes a contemptible person is repulsive, but who honors those who are in awe of the Lord, who swears truthfully even to personal hurt and never retracts, who does not lend money and interest, nor takes a bribe against the innocent. One who does these things shall never falter. You know, I asked this question many times, and I'll ask it again today. You may have not heard that question from me in the past, so for you, it may be the first time, and maybe you heard this from another rabbi. Why make eulogies? Who is it for? You know, a live person, it's very important to praise others. You know that as parents, grandparents, teachers, very important to give praise. Why? It's a given. Everyone will tell you if they tried it. You praise someone, then you'll see all of a sudden they're going to double their efforts to do whatever you were praising them about, because they have to demonstrate that whatever you praise them is actually true. They'll try even harder. There are all kinds of psychological reasons, besides the fact it's only right to do that. Somebody does a good thing, you praise them for it. But all the psychologists will tell you it really works. But why are we talking about all the good things? Why do we have to eulogize someone who's no longer with us? Is she listening? Yeah. There are those that say that they do understand, they do listen. Obviously, they're not with us, they're no longer alive, but the spirit is there, and the spirit is alive forever. The spirit never leaves. Just the body that's no longer going to be with us. So are we talking to the spirit, to the neshama, to the soul? I want you to know you were so great, and you had so many wonderful things that you did, and you were, you know, the way you took care of the family. Or perhaps that a eulogy is for ourselves. Why do we need it? To give us comfort, makes us feel good. What a wonderful person we had that we knew, part of the family or friend. And perhaps this is a way to celebrate life. After all, she lived. Can we say Kenohara today? Say Kenohara when they're still alive, but she lived for over 100 years. You know, it's truly a celebration. I've been at funerals when people pass away 100 plus. Sometimes I don't see a tear. And when I turn around, like, you're the son, you're the daughter. Like, I'm surprised. I said, no, we are grateful. Thank God that we had her for 100 years or more. Of course, we're sad to lose her, but we're so grateful. We are celebrating. It's a celebration. But there's another reason why we do eulogies. Not just because the rabbis want to be here, you know, that's to give them work, give them what to do. There's a very important, much deeper reason. And that is to reflect on their lives, their values, and to see what we can do to learn from them. Something meaningful that we found that, you know something? How about applying that to our family, to our lifestyle? Sharing that with our children, grandchildren, friends, whoever it may be. So really, we're not there for Mildred. She's not the one that really needs the eulogies. Of course, you know, we have to show respect that we're here. But the eulogy part of it, it's for ourselves. It's for our families. It's for the generations to come, to know what it was like. You know, we always say the old cars are much better than the new cars, right? New cars are almost like toys. Yeah, all kinds of features. But the old cars, a good example. Well, the older generation, they were made different. Just, I don't know what it is, but There's something about them, you know. If we look back at our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, it's not the same. And so we're here to learn from Mildred, and the ones that can best describe Mildred in only a few minutes that we have are family members who knew her, you know, from way, way back. So let's begin. I'm going to ask Josh. I was told he's a great speaker. So
See what I can do.
we'll begin with Josh.
Thank you.
So I'm thinking, yeah, over 100 years of life and experiences and feelings and certainly love through Mildred. When I think back on all the time that I spent with Mildred, I'm reminded of all the home-cooked meals that she used to share with me weekly. And I would go over to her place. I think to this day, I still don't know how to get a London broil to taste that good. I remember being a child and spending so many nights at her place with Butch and falling asleep in their living room, which had no TV, no lights, no anything, which to any kid might be the most horrifying experience of your life. But every morning when I'd wake up, they'd take me to get breakfast, and it was just such a joy to be around. And even to the last few months of us being together, she still joked and was caring and was invested in my job. And I'm really happy about the last words she said to me, which was, "I love you, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you." And so, to Mildred, I love you, I'm so proud of you, and I'm happy for you, because she's now finally with Butch again, where she always wanted to be. Thank you.
You know, small group, family, anyone else who wants to come up and share some thoughts. But
So I'll just say that we're going to miss Mildred very, very much. Mildred came with a lot of things, good and bad, but for the most part, what she meant to our family was nothing but good. She was a constant source of good stories, a lot of stories, never-ending stories, which were great to hear. And I'll just remember that I've never met a person who was so up on current events and what was happening in the world. For up until the age of 101, all she wanted me to do was to tell her what's going on in the news, what's happening in Israel, what's going on with Trump, what's going on with the country. And for 101 years old, she remembered everything. And it was a source of inspiration that, you know, to stay alert, stay active. And to me, it showed what it meant to be, have a meaningful engagement with the rest of the world. Not just immediately around you, but in general. I'm going to miss telling her all those stories. I'm going to miss keeping her up to date with things. So miss her greatly, loved her very much, and we miss you, Mildred.
I didn't know Mildred for very long. I mean, I guess she was always around, but I never really knew. But then, you know, probably in the last 8 years or so, I got to know her a bit. And I mean, she was the nicest, kindest human being to me and to my son. Sharp as a tack. I never met anybody like that, except couldn't use a cell phone worth, you know, means. But but you know, she was amazing, and so I'm grateful to have known her. And I'll tell you just a little story that most of you know, but you know, I'd always ask little Eli over there to, you know, to like hang out or do something or come somewhere, and he'd like, but it was always like, I can't come because I got to do something with Mildred. It was always Mildred. Mildred came between us. So, and she was worth it. So, thank you for letting me.
So in case you thought any different, I did not know Mildred for 100 years. Okay? I only knew her for a few years. But boy, she made an impression. I really enjoyed visiting her, so much so that I said, I need to find others to stop by there and visit as well. And whoever I sent to her, well, we're going again. We're going to go a third time and a fourth. They just kept on coming. And most recently, the woman from Skokie who came every Thursday, she baked a little challah for her, and he brought her the challah, and she was looking forward, and she asked her the names of her children, and then when I came, she shared with me what, you know, about the challah, about the children that she really didn't know them, but she remembered. She had an amazing memory. In the last few times that I went, I tried to go on Fridays, and the last few times I went, and she said to me, Rabbi, don't forget, you're the one. You're doing it. What are you talking about? And she is planning it, you know, and it won't be long, and I want you. Okay? And someone said that to me, you know. I can argue with a family member. Maybe I'm not the right person, but I can't argue with her. So I heard many things talking to Jody about Mildred. I'm sure most of it you know. There's one thing that really left. A few things, but it's getting cold. One thing that I want to repeat, and I want to tell you why that made such an impression on me when I heard that this was what she always said. So the way I understood it is when she was always there to invite and to host for family events or holidays. And sometimes, you know, bases were loaded and there were no more seats available around the table. And someone else had to come. And what did Mildred say? There's room for one more. There's room for two more. Let's make room. And this reminded me a story about bringing someone to the table. I guess this is what I understood, this is something she enjoyed doing. So it reminded me of a story, the late Lubavitcher Rebbe. So there was a group of rabbis that came to him and said, Rabbi, we have an unbelievable idea. We want you to sign like a petition. You know, we want you to sign on this as well. It's going to go unbelievable. They didn't have social media back then as they have it today, but it's going to take off. What do you want? We want that it was before Passover. We want that at every Seder table, there should be an empty chair to remember the 6 million. Or a loved one who used to come and no longer there. Rabbi, I want you to sign on this. You'll make it Rabbi 155 or who knows what, you know, like this is it. He said, I have a problem. Why leave an empty chair? Maybe the solution should be ask everyone to fill that chair. Find someone who perhaps does not have a Seder to go to. So to remember the 6 million or loved ones, let's not just leave the empty chair. Find someone out there who you can sit down on the chair and help them, let them share in your Seder. Didn't think about it. But Mildred did think about it. You can imagine she would have been the first one to sign that type of a petition. Okay? And perhaps the takeaway, we spoke about talking about Mildred, but somehow to apply it to our own lifestyle. And perhaps this would be a good takeaway. That whenever possible, believe me, there are so many opportunities. If you're looking for opportunities, call me. We have a senior center. I have plenty of seniors out there that are looking for places to go. I had one senior that came over to me before the high holidays and said, everybody's talking about going Rosh Hashanah here, going there, my children and cousins. I have nowhere to go. And I found her where to go. Okay? Fill that chair. Let's do it in her memory. That from now on, whenever we have, it's a family event, big deal. I'll find you enough people you can find. Enough people go down the block, ask the rabbi in the temple. There are people that are living alone at home, have nowhere to go, and perhaps sit them down. Find a chair for them. I'm sure give them something to eat too. Don't just give them the chair. And if we want something very simple, some people in memory of their loved ones, they're going to build, who knows what they're going to put up over there, millions of dollars. Not a bad idea. But you could do something simple. Okay? Feed those that are lonely. Bring them into your life. And that's exactly what we did. I can say she was lonely. Sure, she had visitors, but she was still lonely in the nursing home. We found people to come in there and visit with her. It just made her day. And if we can do that to others, that will be a tremendous thing that we can do for her neshama. And we believe that the neshamas, when they go back to the Maker, they know what's happening down here, and they know how to push the right buttons to pray for all those that are left behind, for all their friends, family, that they should have everything that you want. Health, happiness, and she's up there. There's no question in my mind that she's going to advocate for all of you. And let's hope and pray in the future we all get together only for happy and joyous events. To conclude, I'll say a special prayer and please rise. Here it is. So one more thing I want to say before I say this prayer. I was asking Jody for her Hebrew name. Ironically, she told me she thinks she was called Mendel. I said, Mendel is a Hebrew name. Guess what? The woman who spent so many hours with her, and she brought music to her bedside, her name is Mindy Mendel. Okay. I don't think she knew that when she did it. So Mendel joined Mendel. O merciful Father, strengthen those who mourn the loss of Mildred Maurer, Mendel Bas Esther. Help them to look beyond this moment. Help them to realize that death cannot destroy the bonds of your everlasting love. Sustain them with the knowledge of our faith, that you will not abandon our souls, that you will not allow your faithful to suffer, for you, O Lord, have taught us the real way of life. And let us all say Amen. We'll begin lowering the casket, and I want to say something. While they were working, we do not have 10 men for a minute. However, I want to tell you all what I told Jody over the phone. There's a custom to say Kaddish at the graveside, right? There's also a custom, whenever possible, to say Kaddish 3 times a day for 11 months. Can you figure out how many times that is? Anybody can figure that out? Okay? That's about 900 times to say Kaddish throughout the year. And I made that commitment to Jody that I will be saying Kaddish for Mildred throughout the year. I'm very fortunate. I don't have to travel anywhere to see a synagogue. They're next door, my office, down the block from where I live. So it's easy for me. I'll say Kaddish. So it'll be 900 minus 1. I think we're doing pretty good. So I don't want you to walk away and ill feelings. Oh, we didn't say the Kaddish today. We'll say 900 more.
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment, when the gentlemen have the cover of the vault placed, everyone's invited to place 3 shovels of earth into the grave without handing the shovel from person to person. The shiva will be at the Smith Cone residence at 9550 Central Park Avenue in Evanston. The family will be together today from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Memorial contributions to the Chicago Mitzvah campaign would be appreciated. For those of you who are joining us online, that information can be found on the website. And for those of you here, it's on the service folder. At this time, we are going to stop the live stream for the shoveling. So we thank those of you who are online this afternoon.